Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dissgruntled. I am your host, Joplin Jayne. As always, we have very funny comedians with us. We have 3 this time. Please give a warm welcome to Courtney Brennan from Seattle, Washington.
Hello.
Love the hair, looking good. Give a welcome to Michael Thomas from Dallas, Texas.
What up?
And Nic Weir from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hello. How's it going?
These comedians are going to be competing in 2 rounds. I'm going to be awarding points after each round. And at the end, whoever has the most points is valid in their grievances, and everyone else is just bitter and disgruntled. Round 1 is called Petty Rapid Fire. We're going to start things off with Michael, and then it's going to be Nic and Courtney. Comedians are going to have 3 minutes to rant about as many petty personal injustices or grievances that they have with the world as possible. The person to list the most gets 1 point, and the person with the funniest grievances gets 2 points. Michael, whenever you're ready.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's start this off with this generation not appreciate the generation before them. I hate when kids now say that our tech is old tech. Like, you don't understand. Like, flip phones are fucking detrimental to this society, okay? Razors were the shit back in the day. I couldn't have one because, my family was poor, black people shit. But anyway, I really wish that these kids would stop making fun of our stuff. Like, I just found out the other day that my kids told me that, Daddy, you're a dinosaur. Like, what the hell are you talking about? They have pagers in museums now. And another thing is, like, I hate the fact that now, like, all these kids have, like, these fine-ass teachers. Like, my teachers back in the day looked like they were from the Golden Girls era. Why do these kids got the privilege to have, like, come on now. I wish I had some of those teachers that looked like now back in my day. Because, man, like, if that was me, and, like, you wanted to get with me, I ain't snitching about that. I ain't telling nobody. Like, that's gonna be between me and you. Like, I'm taking that to the grave. Wait, can I say some words? Okay, I'm taking that to the grave, my nigga. Like, we're going down together. That's like my favorite word. I'm just saying that right now. Also, one grievance that I have, like, if you're a white person and you get the okay from a black person to say the N-word, understand this. Only say it around that person that gave you that pass, okay? Because if you say it around anybody else, my ninja, I don't know you at all. You get jumped, you're on your own. That's all my grievances.
Oh, okay, cool. Those were good. Yo, N-word pass? Damn. That's not like Visa. You can't take that anywhere, everywhere, and use it.
No.
That's how that works.
No.
It's limited to certain barbecues. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is
like
right there.
It's a gift card that can only be used in one place.
Yes. Walmart, Kmart.
Exactly. Yo, the finance teachers thing, I think that's very true. There was a couple that were a little bit scandalous. Like, how was it for you guys, the rest of us? Like, were there a couple hot teachers that everyone kind of like lusted about?
I had one. She got married to another teacher.
That's how it works, honestly. Because then you kind of know that they're fucking each other before they announce it, because they get all giggly.
Oh yeah, they're always in each other's office. It's so awkward for the class. And then the next year they're married. Next year they're pregnant. You're like, oh, that was disgusting to watch. I hate love.
That reminds me, because you see them get together and then you see them pregnant, and it's just like, you can't help but to know they're fucking. You know what I mean? It's like, now you have a baby, you're fucking. It's like when somebody, and I have always thought this, I think it's disgusting when you're around a dinner table and a young couple is like, we're trying for a baby. What the fuck? Why does the whole table need to know you're banging? Like, what? What?
Like it should already be assumed that you guys are happy and just banging it out. You don't have to announce it to us all.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And the cell phone thing. Yeah, I didn't have a razor either. My poor ass family didn't have that shit either. But I mean, you have to be okay. I want to take a poll here. Let's be honest. Did we give the people before us shit about their technology? Because I definitely did.
I was just happy to
floppy
have the
disk as
iPod
well.
Shuffle. I was excited about that for way too long.
But you were excited about what for way too long?
Like the iPod Shuffle, like just having music on the go was really cool at the time. And then, we all
Now,
shaped technology today. So, I mean, it all revolutionized very quickly. I can't complain about the timeline or what they had previous to us. They should be jealous of us. That's it.
And I also want to say this about technology that like it's like, hey, children, do you not realize that your little tech is going to be obsolete in like a couple years? Like things change so fast. The only actual appropriate way to view the technology before you is fucking gratitude. You know why? Because the technology that you have right now exists because of what came before it. Like the way it works in humankind is that we evolve, we grow. It's a cycle, like it's a line of growth, and you can only go further on the line because of where you were in the line before it. So that's where I've landed.
I agree with that to the fullest.
same. And if I could add to that point, we as comics all know, comedy and time are similar in one way. Both very humbling experiences as time goes on,
Very true.
That's real shit.
Oh, that's so true. And then like I don't have kids, but I see people with kids. I see who they were before kids and I see who they are after kids. And it's just like having kids humbles you even more because they don't give a fuck about anything. Like you'll see these Hollywood actors with children who have no respect that they are box office like smash successes. They don't fucking care. Like life just humbles you the longer that you're here. And it's nice that you can just respect that we're all here just fucking trying. I think that's the appropriate way to look at it. But Michael, that was fantastic. Way to go. All right, Nick, you ready?
My first one, I'm a dog dad. I gotta open it up with that. A pet peeve of mine is when people do not address your dog in public. If you're walking at a park, on a hiking trail, I have a very friendly pit bull, and she just assumes everybody is her friend. So she comes up to you, wagging your tail, and you don't address them. That's rude as fuck. Get out of here. Number 2, I've got lottery tickets. I find lottery tickets very annoying. I hate people that buy them. I hate places that sell them. Let's stop doing that. It's a waste of time. We got all these losers over here just waiting for paper that's not going to do anything, and you're not going to win. I'm just trying to get cigarettes and pay for gas. Come on now. My next one, I've got potholes. I hate potholes a lot. They're terrible. I don't know where you guys live, but in Nashville, we've got a fuck ton. People live in potholes here. In this year alone, I've hit so many potholes, it popped 2 tires already.
What?
Okay. Yes. 2 frickin' tires. And I'll tell you what, I'm related to a NASCAR driver. One of my cousins is Sterling Marlin. He was a 2005 Daytona champion.
What?
And that shit did not pass on to me. I'll tell you that much with hitting that many potholes. Do not count on me. What else do I have? I've got cyclists. Hate cyclists. Don't like them. They do not share the road well. And guess what? They don't share any sidewalks or greenways well. They piss my dog off. They piss me off. They're very inconsiderate people. I want to drive sticks through their spokes when they're zooming past you, being rude, scaring your dog. I'll do a personal one real quick. The 2017 Stanley Cup Finals, when the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins beat my Nashville Predators. Fuck Sidney Crosby. That's it. That's all I have to say. What a garbage franchise that is.
Fuck that Crosby dude, whoever he is.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
I actually do have a lot of respect for him, but I will talk shit. He's a fantastic player, but god damn it, my boys deserved it. We worked so hard.
I mean, I agree with you. I was a huge basketball fan in the 90s as a kid, and like I hated Michael Jordan so fucking much because he dominated so much, and he just would annihilate and embarrass my teams endlessly. But you just respected him, obviously, for his skills. So, I mean, you got to shout that out.
Exactly.
Bro, I loved yours. First of all, Sterling Marlin, he had to
Yes.
be a NASCAR fucking driver. Are you kidding me with a name like Sterling Marlin? That's like a
Oh yeah.
out of that Will Ferrell movie. Like that's like written for his life, like who he's supposed to be.
Oh yeah. My family is very, very proud of that. I will say.
Bro, to have a NASCAR champion in your family and you live in Tennessee, like that's a big fucking deal, I feel, right?
Hell
Yes.
yeah, it is.
It really is. It's a fact that I don't share very often, but I do have like a ton of cool like NASCAR memorabilia.
What
You
kind of
know?
car does your cousin race?
He doesn't race anymore. He retired, I think, in 2008 or 9. He's a bit older than me. I think it was a Chevy though, Chevy Impala.
Okay, there you go. That's a classic. Domestic.
A classic drug dealer car too, of course. Michael knows. We all know. It's always a Chevy Impala, a Crown Vic.
All right,
yeah.
that was totally racist, but I'll let it slide.
It's never a Camry, dog. I'll tell you that much.
Wait, Courtney, so do you like work on cars? Are you just like a big fan of them? Like,
Oh no, I used to kind of be big into cars like way back. I managed AutoZone for like 4 years and I was building a Miata at the time. No, I was like into the drifting, like the imports, like drifting and 240s, Miatas.
very cool.
We'd like shit on the Hondas a lot because they were lesser than us apparently. I don't know. I'm not into it anymore. It's just like a past life at this point, but
Like you're a hot girl managing AutoZone. You must have endured so much shit from all of your customers. Can we talk
I
about
repressed a lot of it. One guy did tell me one time, he walked in and I was all blonde at the time. He goes, "Didn't I see you in Playboy?" And this guy was like 90 and had
Oh.
like no fingers left because he worked on cars. And I was like,
what?
I was so flabbergasted. I was like, no.
Fingers. Nubs.
No, that's what got me out of working on cars because I saw enough like homegrown mechanics with missing fingers. I was like, I can't pursue this. I need my fingers. I'm pretty sure I will like to have those. So
You need them to hold microphones. That's for sure.
didn't know
Right?
it at the time, but apparently.
Oh my god. So it was the hand nubs that like made you change careers?
Yeah, not the sexism, shockingly, but just seeing enough missing fingers scared the hell out of me. I was like, I gotta find a new path in life.
You know what though? I mean, the sexism and like the gross, like at a certain point, yeah, you just kind of expect it and get used to it. That it's just like, yep, whatever.
You're just numb to it. You're like, that's just old people being old people. They'll die soon. It's fine. They won't be here for long.
Yeah. And here's the thing though, like there's the classifications on like gross lecherous guys. Like some guys do it for the shock value and just to be disgusting and disgust you just to get a reaction. Other people, like that 90-year-old man, like he is from a different time where talking to a woman like that was like a fucking compliment, commenting on her looks. And, he probably did. I don't know the guy, but like from what I've seen, like I usually am a lot easier on those guys because they're not doing it to be rude. They literally think it's a compliment.
Oh yeah, they just lack self-awareness. It's sad, really, but I mean, you just move on. Like, I guess I could put that in all of my irks too. Is like old people being sexist, old people being homophobic. Like that could be really annoying, but you just gotta remember they're expiring. They have no idea what's going on. They don't have the technology we have, like we mentioned.
Bro, it's so true. Like I won't go on Twitter for like a few months and like I'll come back and there's a whole new rule for society of things that you can't say. And imagine being an old person and having no access to anything when new rules are constantly being added to how we're supposed to behave. Like it's like, yeah, I'll give you a fucking pass. Like you have no idea and the world is changing like this.
Oh yeah. Like what do you mean I can't say broad anymore? That's what they are.
I think the problem in general is the lack of self-awareness for men, and also the lack of understanding, because some women love it when you compliment them. Like if you're like, you look beautiful today, they're like, "Ah," and like it makes them really happy. But like you have to have self-awareness and emotional intelligence to know what that is for them, and also like what you are to them. If you are an actual friend and you actually have that kind of rapport, you can talk like that, and it doesn't feel gross and it doesn't feel invasive. So I think the actual problem for a lot of men is they aren't very emotionally intelligent. I'm not knocking all men, but like you see some men and they are able to say that to women, like, you're beautiful today. And I don't feel invaded. I don't feel objectified. It's just like, thank you. That felt very genuine. And it just was like, that was for you, instead of like, I'm going to say this so you give me something. And I think that's a big thing to do. Like where it just feels like genuine, like, hey, you look beautiful today. Thank you for that.
I mean, I think compliments sometimes, they definitely get, sometimes they get misinterpreted at times from either party. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, respect is very important.
Nah,
Everyone
respect.
wants to be respected and understood.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to be understood if you don't communicate that to the other party. That is a very important part to that.
Very true.
Man.
I agree. It all comes down to respect. Because when somebody does say something and it does come off the wrong way, if I know that their intentions weren't bad, yeah, we can move on. Not bad at all. So it comes down to respect and intentions for me. That was a great conversation. I enjoyed that. All right, Courtney.
So I'm very passive. I don't have a lot of irks. And it kind of, this trying to write these out made me realize I probably should be more aware. I'm very oblivious to my environment. My biggest irk right now is I moved to Seattle and everybody here has student driver stickers on their car. Is that a thing where you guys are at? Like, it's everywhere here, all over the place. I want to know why they do it. What is the goal? Am I supposed to be taking caution to these people? Or should I be like, no, or should they be more precautious to me? And then they use the left lane, like they're in the fast lane. I'm like, you're just a baby. You shouldn't be over here. Go back to the right lane. I saw a Tesla with a student driver sticker on it the other day. That actually got under my skin because I'm like, at least the car can drive. I know that much. And so you don't deserve that sticker. I think the only vehicle that should have a student driver sticker on it should be a school bus, because that is the only vehicle that is driving students. And to really tag on to that, senior citizen drivers, this is a big irk of mine because they cause so much damage and they are dangerous. Why are they allowed to drive? Why? I don't care. I mean, public transportation is huge, whatever, but we should really invest in more public transportation for old people, specifically. To get them off the road, they're very dangerous. I was in a car accident with one. His fault. Totally wasn't paying attention. Almost killed me. That was great. That was many years ago. He's probably not even alive anymore. That's how old he was. He was like 90. Why should he be able to drive? It's very dangerous. They can't see. They can't hear. You need both of those senses to drive. My last irk is that when you go to someone's house and they have a soap dispenser like in their bathroom or whatever, but it doesn't have any soap in it, and then it's worse. It adds insult to injury when they fill it up with like water. What? So when you squirt it, it just like comes all over you. It's just like it's all over. You're like, what was the point of that? You gaslit me into thinking I was gonna get my hands clean. This is very Howie Mandel of me to actually care. I've experienced this enough to get aggravated with it though. Or they at least put dish soap in it, I guess. That's clean. But don't gaslight me with your empty soap dispenser filled with water, because that just fills me with rage. That's it. I'm a happy person. I don't really get annoyed.
I agree with you on the soap thing.
I think I do. I might have some OCD when it comes to keeping my hands clean. That's probably from the pandemic, honestly. But because I never was that way when I worked on cars. Like I would eat a sandwich like covered in motor oil, But so nowadays, I don't know. I think it's just laziness. Like get some new soap.
Courtney, you're
Really dumb.
so cool. I love it. You're like actually working on cars, doing shit like that. Can we talk about bars of soap? Because I find them repugnant. If I'm in someone's bathroom and they have a bar of soap, like it's always withered. That's just like a sliver. And I'm just like, that looks dirtier than it looks like. It'll make my hands dirtier than it will clean them, even though it's soap. Like it's so
Foreign
gross.
objects laced in it. Ugh.
Ugh.
Well, why do they always end up looking like a perfect Lay's chip or Pringles chip afterwards? I don't get it. After probably like 50 uses or something.
Now you make me want some Pringles.
Like, are they trying to use every milliliter of that soap? Like those people, do they use it until it actually disappears? Like, what's the cutoff? When do you throw it away?
I do.
Green cheapskates.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Michael, you okay, we're not trying to shit on you. This is a safe place.
I want you to know something. When somebody says it's a safe place, it's not.
No, for real though. I am actually so interested in your perspective. So you use bars of soap. For some people, it totally works, and seriously, that's fine. So for you, do you use it? Is it like a chapstick for you, where you use it until it's completely empty? Which I never get to because I always fucking lose it. But like, what's it like for you?
Well, two things. One, I lose my chapstick too. I just bought one at Walmart 2 hours ago, and I don't even know where it's at. Second, soap costs $3 and some change now. I am going to use all of those $3 and some change with that soap. The economy is horrible. I'm going to get my use out of that. And on top of that, I also use bottles of Axe too. So I'll use it till I get to the last drop. Walmart ain't going to steal money from me. Hell no. We're using every bit of that product.
I can respect that. Okay. Time to adjudicate. Nic had the most. He had 5.
God.
1 point for Nic. Funniest, I'm going to give to. I'm going to give that to Michael. I liked the fine ass teachers and I liked the N-word pass. I thought that was funny. That made me laugh. That was
Very funny.
That's actually a joke that I use in my set a lot, so I'm happy that you like it.
It works here too, man. It works here too.
Nice.
You know it works.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Final round. This is called WTF Story Time. We are going to start things off with Nic this time, and then it's going to be Courtney and then Michael. In this round, comedians are going to tell a story about the funniest, worst grievance that has ever happened to them. Whoever has the best grievance gets 1 point, and whoever tells the funniest grievance gets 2 points. Comedians have 5 minutes or less to tell their story. Nic, whenever you're ready.
All right. I'll start mine off in 2020. It was a very shitty year for a lot of people, but for me, it was an extra shitty year. So on Leap Day, I can remember very specifically, it was a leap day. Let's see. I went grocery shopping and shit, and then later in the day, I got drunk watching the Preds. Of course, this is before I got sober. And then I woke up later that evening, and my whole apartment complex was on fire, folks. I mean, straight up, like I woke up in my bedroom, there was black smoke. I come out to my living room, the front door is on fire. My whole breezeway is on fire. I learned that later because I go to my patio and I jump out of my apartment building. Crazy shit. It was a great time. I was asleep, so I was just wearing my underwear, bright orange Calvin Klein boxer briefs. That's all I had. My whole apartment's going up in smoke. I didn't grab anything. Like I used my neighbor's phone to call my parents to let them know what was going on. And then I got rushed to downtown to Vanderbilt for smoke inhalation, and they cut my underwear off. And then they gave me some drug that made me pee purple for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I was pissing the color of like grape Gatorade, dude.
What?
Like the frosted one where it's kind of lighter. Dude, I was sending pictures to everyone of just purple pee in a toilet bowl. So then I had to move in with my parents, and then COVID started a week or two later. It was just a fantastic year for me, and at least we're past it, you know?
No, like frosted purple's the best flavor.
I know, and I ruined it. I'll tell you, like when I was in the hospital, that evening I had like a jug, like those plastic urinal jug things, because I couldn't really get up. I hurt my leg when I like jumped out of the apartment. But as I was using it in the middle of the night, probably like midnight or something, I realized there was a hole in it because my piss just started coming out of it at the bottom. It was so embarrassing to have to like call in a nurse and have her clean up my purple pee.
That's hilarious. Wait, so what floor was your apartment on?
I was on the 3rd floor. It was the top floor of the apartments.
Nick, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I learned I wasn't gonna be Batman real easy, you know?
Fuck, dude. So how many feet? How many feet was that? Like 15?
It was probably like 15, 20. I will say I didn't jump out of the 3rd floor. I went from my apartment patio, like I got on top of the banister or whatever and climbed down to the 2nd floor, like my below neighbor's patio, and jumped out from there.
Smart.
So it was probably like 15, but I definitely like messed up my foot or like my ankle for a little while.
I'll be real with you. I don't know if I would have had the fucking balls to do that. Like, I would have looked down and I would just like, I don't know if I could have made myself jump from such a height. Like, one time I accidentally overdosed on like hot chocolate. I didn't know what it was. And like it was my friend's chocolate, and he just like left it in the cupboard, and like it was like a common cupboard. We would leave like food for each other. He didn't fucking tell anybody. It was like very potent weed. And like I ate 8 of them. They were like this big. And like because I didn't have dinner. I'm like, oh, this is great. And like I didn't know it was like very, very pure, potent weed, and you were only supposed to have 1/4 of one of them. And I ate 8 of them. And like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have some problems. And like, I was like, maybe I can make myself vomit it. Because I was like, I should vomit this. If I vomit this, then I won't like, I'll be okay. I'll be all right. And so I just like stood over the toilet, and I knew I need to vomit. I need to make myself vomit. And I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't fucking do it. And like, I don't know why. I just couldn't put my finger down my mouth. And I think also because my friends were all gathered around outside, wanting to hear me do it. And like, I couldn't make myself do it either. So long story short, I tripped for 2 days solid because I couldn't make myself two days solid. I'm not kidding. Like I was shamed in my bed. I couldn't pee.
Just blasted.
Yes, for 2 fucking days. So I mean, I'm very impressed that you could just look at the ground and fall towards it, because I don't know if I could have done that.
Oh, I'm a very avid hiker, you know, so I'm fine with all that stuff.
From just falling? What does hiking have
Yes,
to do?
falling. I fall all the time. You know what I mean? I fall all the time. I have terrible balance.
Oh, well, maybe all those potholes are good practice for falling, I guess.
Right?
Like,
Yes.
boom, boom. Oh, there it is again. Oh, dude, yeah, that sucks. That's like one of those things that is just like, I mean, it just sucks to like lose. Did you lose all your belongings?
I did, but luckily I had insurance, and I'll be very honest with you, the folks at my day job really take care of me. They all donated clothes. I mean, a lot of these folks are people that don't even live in Tennessee. They're like remote coworkers of mine that I see very, very seldomly, sending me clothes and money and stuff like that. So I came out fine afterwards, after some therapy and whatnot.
Wow. I'm very impressed, Nick, on a lot of levels.
Thank you.
Great story. All right, Courtney, you're next.
Okay. So I told you guys about my car background earlier. I used to drive a lowered Mazda Miata. It was in 1991, had the pop-up headlights. It was super rad. I put a lot of money into it, and it was a very functional vehicle. It was loud and cute. So one day I'm just cruising around town. I stop at a stoplight right behind this truck and trailer, and I'm just chilling there. And these people back their trailer up at the light, because I guess the light, they expected it to be green. They were going to go, but it turned red, so they didn't go. And they back up, and they back it over my vehicle. Like the trailer of their vehicle is on the hood of my Miata at this point.
No.
And that's the moment I realized I don't have a horn that works in that car.
Oh no.
Spent too much money upgrading everything else. So I get out of the car in the middle of the road and I'm screaming. I'm like, stop backing up over me. And I think I was like 19 at the time. So no emotional control. I'm just losing my mind. Like, I'm not able to grasp anything that's happening in the situation. I'm screaming at them. They realize what's going on. They stop. Their car is still on top of my car now. I wanted to send you pictures, but I couldn't find them because it was so long ago. And I'm just screaming at them and they're apologizing. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. Can't believe this happened. Whatever.
Get off my car.
You would think that's where the story ends. I was hoping that's where the story ends. So, we call the police. The police show up. And I'm freaking out at this point. And it's at this point that they decide to pretend that they don't speak English.
Oh,
Because they were
great.
just speaking fluent English prior to the cop showing up. The cop shows up, no English. So they call their boss. I guess they work for like a lawn care company. Like their trailer is full of lawn equipment. And the boss shows up and he's translating to the cop. And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. At least they're going to tell the cop what happened. No, they don't. They tell the cop that I rear-ended them. I ran into their trailer. I'm furious. I'm so livid and I'm screaming because I'm 19. You just don't know how to be rational when you're 19. And the cop is threatening to arrest me. And I'm like, oh my God, if I get arrested for this and I get charged with this, like, this is ridiculous. I didn't do anything. I just here living my best life in a Miata in Florida. It's sunny out. It's a beautiful day. I finally calmed down and the cop, he goes across the street to the gas station and gets footage. And he proves that they did it, that they backed over me. He has clear footage of them backing over me, trailer on my car. And we get each other's information. We move on with our lives. I don't have a hood and both my fenders are broken now. So that sucks. I'm riding around with like nothing attached to this car for a minute. The information they gave me was not real information. So now I have to replace all these parts on this vehicle. Nothing matches at this point. I can never get a hold of them. And now I have a crappy looking Miata that I've spent thousands of dollars on. Never saw them again, and they did not get in trouble for lying to the cops. So that's my biggest injustice in life.
Wow. Bro, that's horrible. That's horrible. Like, oh my God. The funniest part was where they pretended like they couldn't speak English.
It was terrible.
That's hilarious. Like, did they just like turn it off? Was there a moment where they're just like la 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 la?
They were just lying. I personally don't think that they were legal citizens. And that doesn't make me dislike illegal citizens at all or anything like that. No. But in that moment, I will say, I was like, okay, what's going on here? These Republicans might have a point.
Well, it's crazy for them to because I'm sure they were very apologetic at the beginning, right? Like, and then when they were speaking to you directly and like,
they got away with it. They just destroyed my vehicle and moved on with their lives, and that's fine, because I lost all of my love and my passion for that vehicle eventually and sold it. But I will
Those are
say,
good
in the moment,
cars.
that was the most valuable thing I owned. It was all I cared about. I poured every cent that I had into that vehicle.
Oh
And
my,
it was like just another day in the crappy driving life of these lawn care workers.
yeah, dude. So hold on, like, didn't they get their like licenses checked by the cop? Like, if they're not here legally, why didn't they run them?
I feel like the whole situation, it was probably my fault because I was out of control
Oh,
with rage when they were like
describe.
lying.
What were you doing? Like, were you screaming? Were you running around?
I think all of the above. Like I was definitely screaming. I was like, they're lying. I know I just kept saying they're liars. I think I was crying a little bit. I was very upset. I have
Petty.
learned a lot in the last 10 years about just being more rational and
I
controlling
mean,
myself,
yeah, I think that
especially around police.
women's emotions don't have a lot of respect in this world. But, honestly, if I was a cop and I saw that footage and I saw just how outrageous that was, I would have put two and two together and be like, oh, yeah, not only did this crazy thing happen to her, but they're lying about it and trying to get her in trouble. Like, it would make total sense why you're acting like that. Like, that cop was a douchebag.
Well,
And
I think I was just being that ratchet. Like the cop was like, listen, lady, I'm gonna take you to the big house. Like, you are not making this situation easier. You gotta calm down. Stop
Mhm.
threatening those people.
Threatening, what were you doing?
It was
This was also
so
in Florida, right? I mean,
yeah,
that is a place that would happen where just chaos is just
average
constant.
day.
You know
I
what?
probably seemed like I was on drugs or something, like the way I was screaming at them. I know I was just so irate.
Oh
I
my
don't think I've ever tapped into that anger since that moment.
It was that primal rage that you've never
Well, yeah,
felt
and when
again?
you're so young, like, when you're like in your teens, you just have no respect for anyone. I am a manager of some teens now, and I feel like that's my karma. Like, I have to deal with their emotional outbursts on the daily, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
just stop. Like, they lose their mind over nothing. And I'm like, you work in retail, like, just get over it. But they can't. And I have respect for that too. I'm like, well, you're 19. Like, you don't
Yeah.
know what you're saying. Like, shut up though.
Yeah, that's a part of life. Well, some people never outgrow that though. Like some people never outgrow that they never outgrow feeling like what is happening to them right now in their current surroundings is all that matters. That this is the whole world. The whole world is this right here, right now. Some people never outgrow that, but almost all young people have that. Where it's like you're in high school and you're like, everything's a big fucking deal. And like all of us, like, we're just like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? But it's the
Oh
whole
yeah. Yeah, you
world.
get over that shit real quick when you're in the real world. You're like, well, nothing. I'm just gonna move on from this moment and go do comedy later. So anything can happen
Exactly.
Right.
now.
I mean,
Fact.
I think comedy also, like when bullshit happens to me, a part of me is like, oh, that's gonna be a nice bit. And that's great. Like being a comedian when bad shit happens to you, the undercurrent of it is always a silver lining because you're like, no, oh, thank you. Thank you, universe, for writing me some new material. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Mhm.
wait.
Oh, that was
Fact.
really good. Courtney, I really
I
like
like that.
that was shitty as hell, man. And I think what made it even shittier was how you felt at the time because you were a young person and that was everything that mattered to you in this whole world. And then to have that happen to you out of nowhere, that was really shitty. Great story.
It could have shaped me into a Republican real quick. Like, it could have made me just really anti. I
Build
know,
that
but
wall.
luckily I have other influences in my life. But if I had stayed in Florida, like easily dealing with those types of experiences, like I would have been just super racist.
Oh my God. Courtney, I love
I'm
how
glad
good
I'm not.
like you're not like the kind of person telling a story about something bad happens. You know when someone tells you a story and they are about injustices or whatever that happened to them and they are like every choice they made in the situation is perfect. They have no blame. They are flawless. And the way they are describing the story is like, It was all of them. I did it perfectly. And like, you know them, and there's no fucking way they handled the situation with grace and aplomb and knowing how to do it. So what I love about you is how real you are. You're like, yeah, I was a fucking banshee with the cops. I did, like, that was some bullshit. Like, yeah, if I'd stayed in Florida, I would have been a fucking MAGA racist. Like, I'm not saying they're all racist, but like, I love it. It's real as hell. I love it.
Thanks.
Michael, you're last.
All righty. I got two for you today. Back in the day, like around when I was in the fifth grade, me and my sister decided to prank call 911, which was the stupidest thing that we ever fucking did. We got on the phone with the operator. She's like, "Hello, 911. What's your problem?" Me and my sister were just going back and forth. Oh, there's somebody in the house trying to kill us. While I what to do? And during that conversation, we were laughing, right? And the lady was like, "Where's your parents?" I forgot what we said, but we end up hanging up and laughing about it. I didn't know that 911 could track your call. So when the cop came to the house and knocked on the door and started talking to my mom had just got off of I think it was like a 10-hour shift, overnight shift at McDonald's. So she was dazed, out of whack, hair everywhere. Only thing she had on was like some socks and a big ass t-shirt. And as soon as she opened the door and the cop was like, "Yeah, your kid said that there was somebody in the house trying to kill y'all." Like I peeped out of my room, which was right there in the kitchen, so I could see the front door. I peeped out and I looked at my mom, and she just did that slow freak, slow head turn, and just gave me like the meanest bug face. I bopped back into the room, and my sister was like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "Well, if we don't believe in God, we might want to start believing now because we might not make it out of this." Like we were literally in my room praying, and my mom just bust through the door, like not even turning the knob. She just boom kicked it in with the belt in her hand. And she was like, she looked at my sister. She's like, "Bring your ass here." She took my sister into her room, whooped her ass for 30 minutes. Have any
What?
one of y'all had a 30-minute ass whooping? Because I did.
Oh,
She
No.
whooped her ass for 30 minutes. And as my mom was whooping her ass for 30 minutes, I looked out my window and I saw the cop walking back to his squad car. I knocked on the window, put on the sign, was like, "Help me." He looked, he was like, "No," and walked to his car and drove off. I was like, damn. I'm in my room on my knees praying, like, "God, look, if you help me, I promise I'll turn my ways around. I'll stop looking at porn a little bit, maybe just only on Tuesday. I'll go ahead and stop sleeping with my dinosaur plushie. I'll do whatever you need me to do." My mom walked in my room this time. She was like, "If either one of y'all do that dumb shit again, I'm whooping both of y'all ass." I said, "Hold on, slow down, back up. You're going to whoop both of us if we do it again?" She said, "Little boy, you heard what I said?" "Yeah, I heard. I want to make sure. Now take your ass to sleep." I said, "All right, cool." She closed the door. I got in my blanket in my bed. I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." Now back to the porn. But also, another story, another what the fuck moment. I got drunk with my baby mama's dad in Fort Worth, Texas, and we went to this club. Now, when I got drunk, my confidence level just shot sky high. During the night, I started to get drunk and fall asleep standing up. So we got kicked out the club. This lady got kicked out the club with us. She was drunk. So we started making out and shit. And I pulled back and she was like, "Yeah, I want to take you home with me." And I kept trying to talk, but something was like, "Michael, shut up." And I was like, "Yeah, we could go home." And then I literally threw up on her. And she didn't like that. So I guess her retaliation was like, "I'm going to throw it back on him." She threw it back on me. And I was like, "Well, fuck it. I got some baby wipes in the car. You still want to go back home?" She slapped me. And she was like, "That's the last time I'm messing with a N-word." I'm not gonna say the word, but that's the last time I'm messing with y'all. And I was like, "Well, goodbye, motherfucker." I didn't know what to do at that point.
oh my gosh.
That's terrible.
No, that was great. Wait, was she
Which
black?
part was no, she was the white lady.
Oh, so she was racist and a drunk.
Oh,
So
wow.
No. She was racist, drunk, and fine. Gotta add that third
Wow.
one.
Michael's like, I didn't fucking ugly bitch. Michael's like, I want to know. I'm back to hottie.
But when you're drunk, everything that's a 10 you automatically know that's not a 10. She could have been a 5. I was just drunk.
True. That's true. Yo, can we go back to the kids' story? The ass.
No problem.
30 minutes.
30 minutes on the dot. It was 9 o'clock. No, it was 8:55. No, my bad. It was 8:45 when we called. We got off the phone at 8:50. That cop showed up at 8:55. He probably didn't have a 5-minute conversation with my mom, but for 5 minutes, it took her from the front door to get to my room. And after she called my sister in, her ass whooping started from where my mom closed my door all the way to her room at the back of the apartment. From 9 o'clock to 9:29 on the dot. That's when I stopped hearing the lashes on ass cheeks, thighs, she stopped completely. So I was like, 30 minutes? Ah, nah, you ain't gonna do me like that. I'm calling CPS today. But thank you. Thank you, she did not. And on top of that, after that ass whooping, I walked in my sister's room. I was like, that's how you take it. You took that. Thank you for taking my L. There wasn't a complete L that I didn't take because my sister like dead shot me. I think I took a nap for an hour after she hit me. I don't know. But yeah, 30-minute ass whooping. Yeah, my sister, to this day, she a champ. My nigga.
She's a trooper.
Yes.
30 minutes? I couldn't take that as a fucking adult. She's a kid taking that? Damn. So, I mean, clearly your mom was like exhausted and didn't have another 30 minutes left in her. Like, you were so lucky that you were second.
Yes. And I'm the oldest, so I thought I was going to go first.
Oh, that's so unfair. That totally should have been you, man. Sorry not to be
Yeah.
but that should have been you 100%.
Shouldn't have said that part. My
You
bad.
should have known better.
That should have been you, man.
Nah. Hey, she didn't ask for me first, so I not. Hey, but to this day, we still make fun of that. Me and my mom, my sister, she don't really like making fun of it, though.
Oh my god! I'm glad you guys.
I imagine not.
Yeah. I mean, I can picture your mom coming to your room after whooping your sister's ass for 30 minutes. And do you know, like, when a kid does something that isn't good, but like, you just don't want to make it your fucking problem. You don't have the energy. You don't have the time. Like, you just don't want to fucking deal with it. So you like come up with some excuse where you're like, all right, well, this time I won't do a punishment, but don't ever do it again. Next time you can better believe, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just like rationalizing to the kid because you just don't want to deal with that shit.
The fear she unlocked in you, like that mental anguish, probably weighed on you heavier than any beating would have too.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like when I remind my mom about that, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And every time after that she got the belt, I was like, "This could be my time. I could get that 30-minute ass whooping that I deserve." Never got it.
Good point. Like that terror stayed with him. Like right now, like you probably don't want to see your mom pick up a fucking belt. Like I can just see you cowering.
As soon as she picked up the belt from my brother, I'm gone. Fuck that. No. No.
Okay, so question: do you whoop your kids?
No. I can't. I can't. Like my mom literally, she used to beat the hell out of me. So I pop my kids. I don't whoop them.
Mm-hmm.
Popping and whooping, two different things. My mom used the belt. I just pop their hands. After that, we're done. I don't do anything else after that.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Maybe a timeout. Actually, I take that back. I'll give a timeout. But when I get that stern voice, everybody knows to shut up.
Yeah, I feel like that's very reasonable. But I mean,
it's a healthier way to do it.
It really is. But can we talk about this for 1 second? Like, I feel like our flaws that our parents have that we had to deal with. It makes it just some people they become like their parents because that's all they know. Other people, like for me, I saw the fucked up shit my parents did, and I'm like, never gonna do that, never gonna do that, never gonna do that. And it just, it automatically made me a better person, honestly, having to behold their problems. Like, what are your guys?
Well, some for me, at one point, I saw that I was becoming my mom, and I had somebody else had to sit me down and tell me that. So when I saw that, it was like, you know what? I know that at some point I had to stop talking to my mom about some things, and I don't want my kids to get to that point where we're like, I can't trust dad. He's gonna go off. He's gonna cuss me out. He's gonna do this, that, and the third. So now I have to realize it's like, all right, man. Sometimes these kids do stuff or do shit. You can't overreact. You have to sit back and be like, all right, you did stuff like that. Nobody talked to you, so let's just talk to them. But at the same time, you're gonna have to learn that consequences come with that. Just I have to find a different variety, a different level of consequence for you than just physicality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
You still have to teach your kids, like it's just like the type of punishment doesn't have to be so severe,
Exactly.
Because like if you're not teaching your kids, how to be like functioning adults one day, then you're failing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Nah, fact.
Like, yeah, you
I
have,
agree with that too.
that's your whole job, is to raise kids that can take care of themselves, that are functioning good members of society.
My dad worked for CPS growing up, so he would never hit us, but he would
Wow.
he was like the one that removes kids from violent homes and stuff.
Wow.
So he would have pictures of like really bad homes, and he would just show us the pictures and be like, "You better count your blessings. Like you don't live in this house." And like my mom's a crackhead, and my dad, he's a marriage and family specialist. And so now I don't do crack, I'm not married, and I don't have a family. And so that's what I've learned from my parents.
So when you saw those pictures, did that work? Was that effective?
I think it was okay. I think it was effective, but more so just entertaining. I don't know if I'm just like well natured. Like I was always pretty quiet and like well behaved. Just there was a lot going on at the time. So more to focus on than doing bad things. I mean, I did bad things that I never got caught for, luckily. But
Nice.
other than that, my dad, he was a single dad for most of the time. So he didn't have time to discipline us anyway. So I think he got lucky with the fact that we just, like me and my brother, just kind of did our own thing and it wasn't too traumatic. Like we'd see our friends doing dumb shit and getting in trouble with the cops and stuff and be like, well, I don't want to get arrested. Like that looks not fun. So
That's
just
good.
learning from example. But the pictures they were bad. Like you'd see like houses that just have been unkempt. Like you've seen the show Hoarders. Those houses would look like those houses. There'd be like really bad situations where kids were like being really abused and they'd smear poop on the walls and we'd see that. And that was all gross. So traumatic.
Dang, that is traumatic. Shit.
I have a question.
No pun intended.
Did you do something to be shown those pictures in his mind? Like, did y'all do something? It was just like, okay, I need to show these kids. Like, or was it just out of the blue? Like, they need to have this in the back of their head so they don't fuck shit up. Like, what was his reasoning?
I don't know. I think the worst thing I would, like probably as a kid, the worst things that I would do, I don't know why I did this so often. I would like jump out of, like we had a tree house. I jumped out of the tree house. I got on the roof one time and jumped off the roof. Like I just really liked jumping from high places where I could get injured. And he's like, please don't get injured because then people are going to think I'm abusing you. So, and he's like, that we have way more riding on this. So if you do anything to make it look like I'm abusing you, like not only do I lose you, I lose my job. Like we can't afford for you to be making these kinds of mistakes. So, and so that's when he would show me those things.
Ooh, ooh. Damn.
It was mental.
Yeah. Like, damn. So your dad was a single dad working for CPS. So like that made him a little bit paranoid probably because he saw what could happen to him, right?
Well, yeah. So he worked for CPS. He also did therapy. Like he's all in like the social work situation. And then, like I said, like my mom is a crackhead, so we just had both ends of the spectrum growing up, and it was like my mom was toxic, she had no emotional control, and luckily she left when she started getting real bad. But just seeing that kind of shaped us a little bit. Like, we were very well behaved. We didn't have time to be messing around. And it wasn't with the threat of violence. It was just like there was too much writing on it. Like, my dad, he had a lot going on, so we kind of helped him out in that way.
You guys are good kids. And it sounds like we all kind of responded to our parents' trauma and problems the same way, where it's just like, let's be better than this. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good for us, guys.
It's all about learning from mistakes,
Yeah. Courtney, thanks for sharing that. That was like personal and awesome. I really enjoyed that. Okay. Adjudication. Worst grievance. We'll start with that. I'm going to give that to I'm gonna give that to Courtney just because of like the impact that had on you as a 19-year-old. Your most valuable thing ever. Like, Nic, like your shit was so fucked up. Like, so fucked up.
Thank you.
Like for real. Like probably the most fucked up one. But like you're just so level-headed. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you roll with things. So like
I tend to, yeah.
yeah, like I feel like you were like, yo, my place burned down, my legs fucked up, I'm peeing purple, but like whatever, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Life goes on, everything healed, I mean, the building's not there anymore, but who cares?
But you're still here, Nic, and you're on this podcast. And like, I mean,
Exactly.
your nature is, doesn't work great for this podcast, but it works great for real life. So, I mean, a good thing, bro. But as a 19-year-old, fuck, dude, like I can absolutely picture that just rocking your world and being a hellish fucking thing. So, gotta give that to Courtney. Funniest. That ass whooping story was really funny, man. Like, I gotta give that to you, Michael. I gotta give that to you, man. With the whole sign that says "Help me," and the cops like, "Fuck you, you wasted time, motherfucker." Like, that's hilarious. Oh, so congratulations. That makes
Thank you.
Michael's the winner. Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you. First thing I wanted in my entire life. Thank you.
Oh, great. I'm glad not to add to your list of disgruntledness. That is our episode, folks. I want to say thank you to the comics who graced this podcast with this was an awesome episode. I enjoyed every minute of it. You guys had awesome stories. It was very enjoyable. Great content right here. Shout out to Nic Weir, Michael Thomas, and Courtney Brennan. Everybody listen to this podcast, please check them out. They're a lot of fun. You will see them tagged in all of our podcast clips. Check out their live comedy. Check out all of the stuff they're posting. Obviously, very funny. Thank you to the audience for tuning in. We have new episodes every Wednesday night. You can find them on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And that's it. Until next week, have a great in-between, guys. Bye.
See you later.
Goodbye.